Hi everyone, and welcome to my new video blog, Top of Their Game. I will be meeting and interviewing influential thought leaders in the real estate industry, starting with women in real estate, asking them key questions on how they started, why real estate, what challenges they're facing at the moment, what market conditions they're seeing, and key insights to see what has shaped them. So let's go and meet the first person who is definitely top of her game, Tracey Dixon from Hunters Hill, McGrath. Today I'm talking to Tracey Dixon, top agent for McGrath, located in the affluent suburb of Hunters Hill. She achieves record results for her clients and someone I've certainly admired for many years. Hi Tracey, how are you?
Hi Amanda, great, thank you, and thanks for having me.
So I wanted to ask you a few questions today.
Great.
How you got to where you are now. So how did you get started in real estate and why real estate?
Well, it was a little bit of an accident. I found myself as a single mum. I had been a teacher previously and also worked a lot in hospitality. And I happened to be sort of approached by a local real estate agent that said, I think you'd be great in real estate. Hadn't really thought much about it to that date, but I realised that I'd always loved houses and property, and real estate's a bit of a national sport in Australia, as you know.
Yes.
And I was interested and keen, and so I started, and I've never looked back.
That's fantastic. And I suppose having the hospitality angle and being a teacher, you've got a lot of service skills
Yes.
already built in.
Absolutely. I love working with people. I like trying to assist, and I like explaining things in a simple way. So I think all of those skills really helped me when I started.
Oh, that's
I
great.
started doing just part-time work,
Yep.
and then it sort of, I guess, evolved from there. And I became more and more involved as people started to ask me to look at their homes. And after a few years, I really felt like I had a grasp on I guess, the local area specifically. And I think, you know, I loved just assisting with people's move.
So Tracey, I'm just interested to know, who inspires you?
Well, that's a great question, Amanda. I think throughout my career there's been a number of people. So John McGrath's been a friend and mentor for many years since I started with the company.
Yeah.
I've also been very lucky to work with some of Australia's top trainers. I've worked with Peter Gilchrist for quite some time. He helped me to become more of my own personal brand in my marketplace. That's been really successful. Also, some of the trainers that we work with in McGrath give us exceptional training, and we're always on top of our game. So change is what you have to be open to in real estate. You've got to be constantly evolving and growing, not only yourself but a team.
Totally agree.
Yep, and so I've been really happy to, I guess, have that momentum behind the scenes with some great advice and training. Absolutely.
And so what would you say your challenges are at the moment?
I think that real estate's a challenging business all over, because you've got to maintain a market share in the area that you choose to be in. I think that people look to the people that are selling homes as ones that they want to be involved with. You have to almost become a local commentator to be seen as a market leader. And I think it's challenging at the moment, with the market being a little tougher than it was. I think great agents can shine during these periods of time, because they're the ones that are, have superior negotiation skills, really know the market and how to get those deals done without compromising either the owner or the vendor or the buyer. So I think it's important times, but challenging. But I think good agents will really grow during this period.
Yeah, absolutely. And touching on the changes in the market, what are you seeing is happening in Hunters Hill region? Is it price point specific, or is it across the board?
Yeah, I think buyers are taking a step back after the heated market that we've had. It feels very similar to sort of the boom time of 2003 to me. It's a similar period where I think that growth will be really kind of minimal over the next couple of years. But I think people decide after a short period to get on with doing what they want to do. So people still want to move to different areas, buy, sell, invest. So I think that it's digging deep and finding motivation that people are having at the moment, and also just understanding that transactions will keep going, but we have to try and make that whole thing a lot easier for everyone.
I think the good thing you've touched on is going back to 2003. You've been around for a long time. You've seen a lot of market changes, good and bad and ugly.
Yes.
And just being there to help your client through that and letting them know, look, cast your mind back. This is what was happening. It's not so scary out there, and people are still selling and buying.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think when the market takes a little bit of a turn for the worse, everyone thinks it's going to go like that forever. But we know that the whole thing is a cycle. And if people are buying now, they can take comfort in the fact that, you know, you just about double your real estate price every sort of 7 to 10 years.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's going to be any different in the future. So I've got quite a positive spin on it. In fact, all the real estate agents are out there buying at the moment. Myself included, you probably noticed. You know, we're seeing it as a good time. The market's levelled off. And I think owners are sort of offering their homes at sort of fair value most of the time.
I would agree with that too. So another question that I always like to ask, because it's so interesting hearing everybody's point of view, is what makes a great leader, do you think?
I think to be a good leader, you have to have your whole team's goals in mind, not only your own. I think you have to lead by example. You really need to, there's no point saying you're doing things when it doesn't get done. So I guess having a clear goal for each of your team. I think also you've got to let them really own their role. So there's no point me being, you know, the best at everything. I have to delegate and I have to make sure that people that work with me own their role and they're responsible for it. So I think it's having achievable goals as well. Making sure that, you know, we're not having a target that's way out of touch.
Agree.
And I think rewarding along the way is important. Everyone wants to feel valuable and that they're contributing a lot to the overall. So it's a team goal.
Yeah, I agree. And the support, it's so necessary. And just knowing that you've got different people within the team that are there with different skills too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everyone, it's great to have a mix of personalities, but it needs to be cooperative and everybody needs to get on. And I think that can be hard, you know, within a group dynamic. I think we try and work on that as much as we can, you know, throughout our campaigns and throughout the years.
Yeah, that's great. And tell me, if you wanted to give somebody top advice to either starting into real estate or that's having challenges at the moment, what would you give them? You
know, it wasn't too long ago. I mean, when I first started in my career, I thought of leaving a couple of times, and I think a lot of people do. It's a tough business to gain momentum in and to have longevity, and I think you've got to kind of, you know, break it into bite-sized chunks so that, you know, you have a goal for a quarter, a half year, a financial year. If we're looking 5 years ahead in this business, it can be hard to do because things are changing very regularly. But I think also you've got to start where you want to be. So you've got to love the area and the location and the homes and the people that you work with.
Agree.
Because otherwise you're not going to be passionate about it. If you don't have passion for the industry, then my advice would be to do something else. Yeah, because it's often, you know, way above the call of duty, I think, what we do. But I think that your passion for the business and the people is what will drive you to achieve you know, greater heights if that's what you want. But loving the area that you're in and making sure that that's where you want to be is probably number one. Great. And tell me, what does the future hold for Tracey Dixon and team? Well, I think I'm really encouraging the team to, I guess, look at their goals over the next couple of years. In a changing market, we have to zig and zag a little bit. And I've got a couple of team members that have been with me for some time. So I think asking them to, I guess, you know, create the life and the job they want is something that is evolving, and we want to put some milestones in there to make sure they achieve that. We'd also like to expand a little bit within the area, and I think, you know, taking on maybe a couple of other team members to sort of help and assist in various areas. There's a lot of charity and sponsorships, and it's becoming such a bigger realm than just selling houses. So, 100%. So I guess, you know, you have to have specialists in each of those areas. But for me, it's more about developing the team, making sure that we've got clear goals for the future, and everybody trying to have, you know, that bit more time off and life balance, I think, is important too. So Tracey, where can everybody catch up with you on social media, etc.? Well, they can follow me on Facebook or Instagram, and of course they can go to the McGrath website, go to my profile, and I'm really happy to hear from anybody that has any questions. Fantastic, thanks so much. Pleasure.